traffic. You just got to go right and then
That's all right.
my daughter-in-law came down, she came down the shoulder, blowing the horn, goes right around, takes a right up the street, and a U-ball right across. My God,
My husband died first of all.
I didn't have any problem. See, Christine.
I'll tell you what, there was a madhouse up there last Saturday, that townwide.
I keep putting some word out.
I'm talking about a sand.
Well, actually, nobody got killed. People
Oh, I know.
walking
And they put up
the road,
all
people
Yeah.
passing. And not a policeman,
And
Where was that?
yeah,
Yatsville?
you could
not a policeman in sight.
Oh, yeah.
usually all the bigger boats.
Yeah, co-op.
I almost bought that cove.
They had, I don't know how many tents up there.
Putty Cove. Just
Pyramids
we
come.
couldn't build anything.
And you thought that, you know, they do all this for homecoming. They
I
do
know
all
right
this
where it
for
is, where that
everything else.
gorgeous house on the point.
Can you read my like outside of the lake?
Sunny, yeah.
So the mosquito can...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Fraze, would you like to join us, or? All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Butch, you want to say the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, announcements. The Select Board will meet on the following dates. Regular meetings at 6 p.m., September 28th and October 13th. Work sessions prior to the regular meetings will start at 5 p.m. All of the above meetings will be held at Town Hall unless otherwise posted. We're right now out of sync since Labor Day, right? We've moved everything up 2 weeks or 1 week.
It'll go back to the first, the second and fourth Monday of each month. You're catching the fourth Monday.
Weather observations for the month of August are posted in the front lobby of Town Hall. We have minutes of the work session, August 24th work session and the August 24th regular meeting for approval. The minutes of the work session, are there any comments, changes, suggestions? I read them over briefly and they don't seem to have anything. Have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the August 24 work session. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's approved. The minutes of the August 24 regular meeting. Anybody have any comments or changes they wish to put in? If not, do I have a motion for approval?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the August 24 Selectmen's meeting. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Agenda review, we don't have anything to... The agenda really is, we have a visitor. Are you tonight, Diane? Tiffany. Okay. No appointments? Updates? Correspondence? Ms. Tiffany, good evening.
Good evening.
We're going to talk about the 10th annual day to fight cancer.
Yes, I am. Thank you for inviting me, Paul, and for allowing me to speak to you tonight. I think I have emailed all of you already, inviting you to the event, but I wanted to take a few moments just to talk to you about the event, because this is our 10th year of having the Walk to Fight Cancer, and it really is neighbors helping neighbors. We are a group of local people, small group of local people, who work to help local adults and families who are struggling with cancer in the Plymouth area. We know that First Star Tonight does a great job with the children, so we saw a need to help adults, including PSU students, Plymouth Regional High School students. We serve SAU 48, but we do go to Bristol and Lincoln and North Woodstock as well. So we have a wide area in the Pemmy-Baker area that we serve. We have an annual fundraiser every fall at the PSU PE Center. And what we do is we walk laps around Arrold Field in front of the PE Center. So the walkers collect donations from their sponsors, come to the event, the day of the event, turn in their registration form and their money. We normally raise about $20,000 a year from this single event. We hope it will be about 25 this year because of it being our 10th. We've added some new things this year. In addition to the walking that takes place, we have live entertainment, including bands. Juggling Jim will be with us. We have lots of children's activities. What else? Refreshments are available. The Common Man donates a wonderful meal. So we have a lot of refreshments, things going on during the day to keep people entertained. We do have a raffle, a dollar sale, and a 50-50 this year. Locks of Love is there doing haircuts if people would like to donate to that. What else? This year we are having guest appearances by Miss New Hampshire and our survivor, the Campton police officer Bowen, is going to be with us. We're excited about that. Deb Reynolds, Daryl's friend Ray Burton will be with us. We just have a lot of special guests this year, so we're looking forward to it.
When is it?
So it's October 3rd. I have flyers that I'll give to each of you if I may. It's October 3rd from noon until 10 p.m. We start with registration at 11 a.m. The walk begins at noon with an opening ceremony, and then we go until 10 p.m. So as I said, people can walk as much or as little as they want throughout the day. People are welcome just to come down, participate in the event, hang out, share, heal. It's a different experience for everybody. In the evenings, we sell luminaries. Actually, we're going to be selling them downtown at Anderson's this weekend and next, and at the Union Building at the university the week before the event. A luminary is a paper bag with a tea light in it, and people will purchase those for $5 and make them in memory of someone that they've lost to cancer or in honor of someone that's walking that cancer journey now. And we put them out in the evenings, and they light the path of the walkers. And we sell probably 300 of them every year, and it's very moving to walk around that path and see all the names on those bags of people that we've lost. So we work with the oncology department at Spear Hospital, Pemmy-Baker Home Health for our referrals, and then we contact the patient to find out how we can help. A lot of people need help with groceries. Gas to get to Dartmouth-Hitchcock is a huge one. Home heating oil we've done. We've helped with electric bills. We've helped with installing a sewer system, whatever the person needs. Quite often, people don't really have a financial need, but the whole point of our organization is to let people know that they're not alone in what they're going through, and Plymouth is a caring community, and we do care about what they're going through. So sometimes we might give a gift certificate to a local restaurant so the patient could treat his caregivers to a meal, or a gift certificate for a massage at the local spa, just to feel good. Books, if someone's an avid reader, we might do a gift certificate to a local bookstore. So it is for people that don't have, not everybody has financial need, but still it's just nice to know people care. And we've also given book awards to PSU students since we've been around, and they're $400 a semester, and it's just to help students who have cancer or have immediate family members with cancer, again, to let them know that there's people around that care. And we give 6-7 of those every year. In the last couple of years, we've started giving scholarships to Plymouth Regional High School students who are also affected by cancer.
Any questions?
Diane,
Yes.
I'm walking that day, and
Wonderful.
you have me down.
Yes.
Maybe you would, is it by the lap or is it by the hour?
You can walk as much or as little as you want.
By the foot for you.
There's one in every crowd, isn't there?
It's usually him.
I
Yeah.
apologize, that was rude.
Usually what people do is they'll just pledge, $10, $20, whatever, to sponsor that sponsor. And
Okay,
then
so
you-
it's not per lap, right?
No, that's correct. You can just come and walk as much as you want. I know we have one walker whose goal is $1,000 this year, which you're excited
But
about.
doesn't accumulate by how many laps they do as
No, it
how
does
many
not.
hours?
No, it does not.
Really
It's
worries
just
you,
a-
doesn't it?
Just the set
I was
amount.
afraid I wasn't going to raise her any money, that's all.
But what we found is, some people are challenged by the idea of walking. So we've kind of just opened it up to everybody to come and walk as little or as much as you want. So if someone is not able to walk, they're still more than welcome to come and participate and buy raffle tickets or buy luminaries or something. There's so much you could do besides walking.
Okay. I
So-
appreciate your coming in.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the
You will.
opportunity to be here and talk to you about that. And I'd love to see the selectmen at our event on October 3rd, and please tell people about it. You will see ads of the Reckitt Enterprise starting very soon, too. Give some publicity about it. So.
Okay.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay. Land use permits are available for review in the lobby of the Select Board's office. They're all taken care of. Chairman's comments. The only thing I have to comment on is I'd like to note that the Pemmy Youth Center is having its 10th anniversary dance on the 19th of September 19th at the Common Man. It's a fundraiser, $35 a couple, and I encourage anyone who is interested to attend. Other than that, I see we had a student died on us this week. Is that
Yes, that's
any?
Mr. Chairman, I think we have to hold off on some of that conversation at the moment.
Okay, purchase orders, there are none.
We do have a new one. I'd like to bring the highway superintendent up.
Would you like to come up, Peter?
We're waiting for a bid commitment. We had to make sure that, we just received the bids on Friday, but during the day today, we had to make sure that everything was correct, and Peter will explain why.
Good evening, Peter.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good, and how are you?
I'm staying out of trouble, not by much.
We received the bids on Friday, and there was some inaccuracy on tonnage on two of the contractors. But the lowest per ton price was from GMI Paving at $78 a ton. His price came in at $53,896, but please keep in mind that that included the police department, and they're not going to pave that. So we'll back that police department amount out of it.
Out of the 53.
Out of the 53,000.
What's this for, paving where?
This is for Valley View, Pemmy Drive. This is for Merrillwood, I'm sorry, not Merrillwood, Merrill Street, which is from the project that CLD ended at to the college project. There's 476 feet there that is in poor shape. You can't sit in your seat with your car without bouncing out of it. So I'm going to repair that. And it also includes some curbing around the common towards the Anderson Bakery side, up towards the post office. When we have heavier rains, the rain comes from the post office side over to the common side and washes through the common. And that's the scope of the project.
What's the total, 53,000?
$53,896, but that will be reduced because we will be backing
Police.
out of the police department project.
Okay.
Paquette paving came in at $87 a ton. Porter paving came in at $89 a ton. Ryan's paving came in at $87 a ton. And CLD paving came in at $83.90 a ton. And that put GMI paving the lowest per ton price at $78 per ton.
Where is GMI?
GMI is out of New Hampton.
Wonder why they're so much lower.
I'm sorry.
I wonder why they're so much lower.
I think that they just want the business. They're a reputable company. I've worked with them in the past.
Yeah.
Are they the ones who put in the crosswalk?
Yes, and they also did the crosswalk work. That's a
Yeah,
division.
that, by the way, really turned out well. I thought you were serious when you were going to paint it yet red, but, well, we were talking...
Terracotta.
Yeah, terracotta, blue. But it really, it's hard to tell it's not brick.
If you didn't look at the process as it was being done, it really is hard to tell what the material it is. But the good thing about this is that it's asphalt and it has high wear versus the crosswalks made out of stone.
Is that $79 a ton?
78.
78.
How many foot of road is this? Do you know roughly how many
I
feet?
didn't bring them figures with me, but
Okay.
we do have them now.
So the board's going to have to vote to accept the bid from GMI at $78 a
Should
ton.
we wait until we get take out the police? Or
Do what?
Take out the
we have
police?
to take out the police department? Or,
Yeah, you don't have to do the dollar amount. That'll be done on a purchase
oh,
order.
all right, yeah, 78 a ton. So we're voting to
You're just voting.
accept the price per ton at 78 from GMI.
Right.
Do I have a motion to accept the GMI $78 per ton price?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any comments?
Is that's budgeted, right?
Yes, it is.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The bid is accepted.
And Mr. Chairman, since we don't have that much on the agenda tonight, and we have Peter up here, just wonder if he could just give us a quick review on some of the things that we've been working on together, and like the crosswalks and the ADA and where we stand with that. And we also have over $400,000 in grants that Peter and I have put out to FEMA for road mitigations, which is why you don't see that big of a road repair list, because those grants do look really good. And before we spend any more money, of the town's money on repairing roads, I want to see if we can secure those grants. And
What's the timing?
probably know in a couple of months, we'll do the work in the springtime, I would imagine.
Will the Bachelor Road be part of that project? The one that the one that goes off of Reservoir Road down into the Eton?
Bartlett Road?
Bartlett Road, yeah.
We're doing that in-house. We've been digging out the rocks. We've
Yeah, I saw
already
that,
ditched it. That was not part of that.
It can only be mitigation. It can only be mitigation work, John.
Yeah.
That's all.
I was wondering about the tiring of that.
We've saw cut that actually today, and we're going to be tiring it with our own trucks sometime within the next week. I made a brief outline of some of the things that we've been doing. It won't take very long. We've been repairing all the crosswalks that we took the bricks from this crosswalk out, and we fixed that one outside, the stamped pavement. This is particular to pedestrian safety. We've been trimming trees and branches that the pedestrians had to walk around. We moved the crosswalk on South Main so the pedestrians don't have to walk into the laundry parking lot driveway. And we increased the visibility over here by the post office at the upper crosswalk so that when people exit from the common, they're not running right out into traffic. You can actually see them now.
We eliminated that first parking space right next to the crosswalk.
Yeah.
So now you can see people when they step off the common.
That's dangerous.
So we've taken care of that. We still have more to do in regards to sidewalks. I got to fix the one by Irving on North Main Street. We have to pave that, which will in turn will fix the drainage going into the catch basin. Small South Main Street still has some small areas on the sidewalks that we're going to pave in-house. We have to do the ADA crosswalk up on Highland Street, where we're going to remove the curb and slope it
Is that the one?
at Avery.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking another one.
And we have other areas that we're going to evaluate as time goes, and we're just going to pave them in-house. And I've created a, and I'm still working on, a long-term sidewalk maintenance program, so that as we see problems, I'm going to identify them, put them in a list of priorities, so that they can be repaired in a timely manner. And
Is that Smith Highland issue, is that part of that or something else?
that hasn't been resolved yet, Darrell. I'm so uncomfortable about putting a crosswalk into a roadway. If we could have an approach on either side of Smith Street or Smith Ave, that would be okay, then we could put a crosswalk to it, but as it goes into a roadway, I don't recommend that at all.
Okay.
Now, on our roadways, we've graded all our dirt roads, and we've added gravel to the roads that were insufficient. Removed large rocks on Bartlett that the frost has pushed up. South Main paving went well, but we still have some puddles that need attention. We striped Main Street by measuring out each line, so if you look down Main Street, it looks
Yeah, it looks good.
pretty even. And again, I have a long-term roadway maintenance and repaving schedule, so that we'll identify the roads as they become needed for paving, and then we can just continue up going through that list. Signs, I've been replacing the obsolete and rusty signs throughout the town that have been there for a while, and I've been installing the signs that are broken, missing, and stenciling. I've been working with other departments, no parking stencils where needed, new additions to that. Vehicles, we've just inspected all the big trucks. The 1-tons don't need to be done until March. They all passed inspection. We've been working on the cosmetics of the trucks. We've been fixing the rust holes, painting them so they look better. They have more of a positive image. We've got a preventive maintenance program now in place, and we can track each vehicle, so we know when it needs to be maintained, oil changes, etc. We don't have it all ready yet, but we're readying the equipment for wintertime. And the building, we just did the recent improvements, and we made it much safer for what we've done down there. Labor equipment costs, I have new time cards that we can track labor, equipment costs much more effectively. Tree trimming, brush trimming. Each road, we're going to set up a program so that we trim the roads. Portion of the town this year, portion next year, so that each road will have road maintenance, tree trimming included. New truck update. The truck that we purchased is being made on September 21st, and it should be delivered in Manchester on October 5th, which will be going to our equipment dealer. Catch basins and culverts. I'm working on a long-term culvert replacement update, identifying where we need new drainage and fixing the catch basins as they're needed.
You also relamped the garage, too.
We did relamp the garage, and that is much brighter, and it's so much better to work in daylight.
Yeah, it looks good. It's, you know.
Mr. Chair, and I talked to Peter earlier. One of the board members of Whole Village called me today about some of the improvements on Highland had sent water into their top parking lot, so they just passed it on to me to pass on. I let them know that I'd tell Peter.
Where is this?
Whole Village, their top parking lot, I guess, fills with water when there's the runoff from Highland goes into their top lot. So
Who's responsible for the pavement right on the railroad track coming into town from Holderness on?
That would be the State of New Hampshire Railroad Division or State DOT.
There's a large area there that's been... The other thing, too, is I've heard quite a few people on the back roads indicating that the brush is pretty bad there, so it's just a suggestion that maybe you could...
We have a rental machine coming by the end of this month. It's all been arranged. It's a boom mower with a it's a tractor with a boom mower on it. So we can get further back than what's been mowed before. So,
I just had one more question. It reminded me, this unpaved road, it's in Bridgewater, but it comes back into Plymouth over on, I don't know what that's called. It switches towns like several times as it goes up.
Dick Brown.
Dick Brown.
Dick Brown.
Dick Brown.
Dick Brown Road.
Dick Brown Road. It's
Turn
not
left
Dick
on
Brown
it.
Pond Road.
Yeah.
Comes in and out of Plymouth. You never know when you're in Plymouth or whether you're in Bridgewater.
And it's all unpaved. It goes to class.
It's both.
It's unpaved after
After you get into Bridgewater,
you get in Bridgewater, yeah.
our parts are paved.
When you go in, it's just beyond Hunt Road on.
Hunt Road, that's it. So Hunt.
Yeah,
you go up.
Hunt Road. That's
The Hunt Road
Bridgewater.
goes, it goes up to from Dick Brown Road, after a while, after it goes up to the right, and then finally comes out in Bridgewater way over the top of the mountain. But the road is unpassable for probably 3 or 4 or 5 miles there. Yeah.
Right, and so do we, because last year I was driving in the winter, I couldn't pass that road, it was unpaved, is that,
Yeah.
so, we're not,
No.
on the bottom of the road.
Right,
There's a
we don't own
spot
that
on
portion. Yeah, we always get a lot of calls on that. People think that that's Plymouth, and it's,
If we paved, we'd only be paving a section, but not the opening or the closing, is that how it would go?
we're not going to pave Dick Brown Pond Road. We're not-
Right, but we don't, 'cause we're not.
Dick Brown
we're not
Pond Road actually goes from Ashland back into Plymouth and into Bridgewater.
Yeah.
So,
But if we paved any section, we wouldn't be, it wouldn't make a lot of difference because we don't, we're not at the inlet.
right,
or
the
the-
problem, we're right in the middle.
yeah. It just,
Yeah,
when
and
it
problems
curves,
take place at
when
both
it
ends.
curves back into Plymouth, a very short distance.
Have those towns ever expressed any interest in,
We've always been in contact with them, trying to get them to fix
We're
it.
not.
It's,
They're not quite as attentive to some of the better things in life as Plymouth is. They get along with what they get along with.
we have 5 families out there, I believe, Peter. That's always our problem. I don't even know if we have 5.
The
Every
tax
time we've
rate is
approached
also
them,
$6.84.
they haven't responded with any help. We have actually, 2 years ago, we actually did repair one end of that road after a bad storm. Took it upon ourselves, and we were able to do that in that particular case to get fire and rescue through.
is that a road that FEMA could, that's true, could FEMA look at that and,
For another town, and that's why we asked them to put it in their mitigation.
but even if we sent FEMA to our piece, to get to our piece,
No.
no? Well, they're looking at our piece.
Bridgewater would have to apply, which we've asked them to do, no.
Why would we want to pave ours when the rest of them don't pave it?
I'm saying if FEMA comes and
No,
looks and sees.
we've been
the
trying for
whole-
years to get the problem solved right at the entrance, John, to see if they would fix that problem.
Near the apple orchard? Yeah?
No,
Other end.
no,
The other
of
end.
the other end.
The other end's in Bridgewater.
Right. And as we've been asking Bridgewater if they could do something with that end.
But if FEMA came and saw that, they would.
They would probably
involve
fix it
three towns
for
involved.
Bridgewater, well, they would give money to Bridgewater to fix it at no cost.
But they wouldn't keep going because we have, our fire can't get, certain times of the year, our fire can't get up there.
Yeah, then at that time, we could ask for an extension in our mitigation plan to take it from that point.
But wouldn't Bridgewater cover for us anyway? And they've got vehicles that will drive in the mud.
They used to, John, and maybe this gives us a little bit of leverage, but if you remember correctly now, Bridgewater signed a mutual aid agreement
Right.
for us to respond for them last year. We now respond for Bridgewater.
So FEMA's
We don't
coming out
plan to
with-
do any more crosswalks like this one for a while, do we? We're going to use up the surplus brick.
We used up a lot of the brick that we had out of there. There's only a couple spots and a couple crosswalks that we still have to complete by putting in 1 or 2 bricks. And then we'll be able to compare longevity. We'll have all the bricks in place, all the sidewalks, all the crosswalks will be fixed versus the one that we just paved. So we can see longevity of how much maintenance it's going to be to maintain a brick crosswalk versus a stamped asphalt one. asphalt crosswalk. So we'll be able to compare in time.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one for Ware, too, because you're right center of town. All right, appreciate it, Peter. Thanks.
Thanks.
Have a good evening.
Looks like you've been doing a good job, Peter.
Yeah.
Committee reports. Anyone have any? No? Darrell?
The Plymouth Energy Committee is trying to have a meeting before they present to the Select Board, so they're going to have a ad hoc meeting this week sometime. That's it.
John, do you have a
Planning board?
planning board? Looks like I'm it. I have three. I attended the Main Street Plymouth monthly board meeting, and they have, financially, they've cleaned their act up quite a bit. They're clear with the university, and I think they've paid off all their debts and have a few $1,000s in the kitty, and seem to be, they were working to get more trash cans on Main Street, and Paul suggested that we have the recycling center build these things, which they had trash cans that were metal, steel with a barrel in the center, and they had a lid on them, and for a lot of reasons the lid wasn't a good idea, and I talked to them about it and suggested that for probably $200 to $250 we could they could put up the money by the way it would be done is Ashland Lumber is going to give us a price for the lumber and all the pieces and parts, and they'll be built by the recycling center, and then we're going to try to get the merchants through Main Street Plymouth to contribute $250 to put in a trash can, and they're shooting for 10 or 12 of them, which would go down South Main Street and help quite a bit. I get some of the merchants didn't like the idea of trash cans in front of their place, including my son, because he says it gets filled up with pizza boxes from down the street. But I think we'll probably end up getting 10 to a dozen new trash receptacles that'll be very cost effective for both the merchants who contribute and the Main Street Plymouth, and they can use it as a sort of a fundraiser. But they've come a long way since 6 months ago in their financial status. They're still not operating with an executive secretary, but they've changed. The board has changed. Tom Salmon's resigned, and John Roy has taken it over at least until the end of this year. And they're having their meetings instead of the same place every month, which is up at the co-op board meeting. They're sort of rotating. They had the last meeting was at John Roy's office, and I don't know where the next one will be, but it'll be announced, and they're going to move around to the different businesses. So things are getting much brighter at Main Street Plymouth, and we should see some serious activity out of them. Plymouth Village Water and Sewer, I went to their meeting last Tuesday and asked them to reconsider the putting in an unmetered water source at the amphitheater for the rec department to use to water the grass and do whatever they have to do. Right now, we bring a fire truck down there. I haven't had an official response, but I've had an unofficial response that they're not receptive. I told them that we would put a plaque acknowledging the fact that they gave us the land, which I didn't. I think when was that done, Paul? 1990 or something. And I don't think it swayed them, but I tried. casino has suggested that we put in because we have an electric source down there now with this new solar panel that's basically free, we put in like a dry well with a electric pump, which may be the way to go if we can't get they just don't seem to feel they have any obligation to participate in the community activity side of the thing. So
If you're going to do that, could you draw the water from the river?
yeah, you put in, it wouldn't be the river, but you'd drill, not drill, you'd probably put a dug well down
Put it down
8 or
close to
10
the river,
feet.
John.
It'd be close to the river, and then it'd have a electric
Actually, the
pump
river
on it.
water would be coming into it.
So that sounds like the way we're going to end up going, unless they change of heart is in order pretty quickly. Rotary, I went to the Rotary. They brought in the signs that they want to use that we're going to have to approve, and I forgot them. I left them at down at the Foster's. But basically, one is it's a Rotary symbol. It's like a porcelain blue and yellow circular sign that they'll put up in the eaves of the new walkway, and then under that there's a sign that says the Plymouth Rotary Amphitheater, something to that effect. So we have to approve it, and I forgot to bring them in, for which I apologize, but other than that, that's all I have. You weren't at anything? No? Okay. All right. Other business. Mr. Freitas, you want to give us an update on the Time Warner?
Time Warner called me Friday, and as you know, they came to us a couple of months ago, after about 14 months of requesting them to come before the Board of Selectmen. What they did settle was they hooked up cable TV, cable access to our airport, and they also ran cable access down to the Highway Department. What they didn't address, and they're not planning on addressing, is the 32 houses out in Texas Hill, Cummings Hill area, or any of the other complaints that we read off that night when they were here at the board meeting. They feel that that's citizens one-on-one with them. So I feel they basically appeased the town's portion of it, and have still left the citizens to fend for themselves. The cost now for the Texas Hill area, $1,380 to go past each property to tie in, and that would only be if all 32 properties agreed to tie in. If half of the properties agreed, it could go up to $3,000 a person to tie in to cable. So that basically they're just not addressing it, and they're just leaving the price up there.
So we're going to do a little bit of research to find out what they're doing in other towns like Campton, Thornton, et cetera.
Right.
And I don't know. I think we should pursue the MetroCast thing. Have it researched legally, and then for the sake of the people up there, go ahead with it if we can get them to do it. They initially said they'd do it for nothing, didn't they?
Right.
Does Jamie have it in his budget to seek advice?
Yeah, we're going to start seeking legal counsel.
Does he
That's what
have-
the board decides. Because our basic arguments still are, they'll do a development, like up towards Chattering Lane, where they'll put in service for 57 houses, and there's only 10 houses in the whole development, but yet they'll service an area like that. Where in this particular area, you do physically have 32 homes, and they won't service that area.
Will that come out of her budget or out of, where will that, retainer, that's a different type of council?
It'll probably come out of our counseling budget here at the town hall.
Okay.
Well,
First we're going to call and get a price and bring that price before the board, before we even seek counsel.
Okay.
We'll find out how much they're going to charge.
Yeah.
I think, how long has this been going on up there? How long since we've had since we've had cable service, there's been none up there?
I believe 19 years, no, 18 to 19 years.
Yeah. I think it's time we put some serious pressure on somebody, and I think if they don't want to cooperate, we just take that into consideration when their contract comes up for renewal.
Because the difference between these houses, and we've mentioned it before, than any other houses in town that don't have service, these houses originally existed when cable came into the town of Plymouth.
Yeah.
And all agreements always were, you have to service all existing houses.
Yeah.
And there isn't one of the 32 houses up there that wasn't existing 19 years ago.
So they got away with ignoring it then, and they just continued the process.
Well, not Time Warner personally, but all the cable
Adelphia.
companies
Yeah,
before.
but I mean, Time Warner's the one we're dealing with.
Adelphia's.
Adelphia, then Frontier before them, and Star.
Adelphia was the one that that explicitly said,
And if
We're not
MetroCast
gonna
is
do
talking
that.
about
Right, it
coming
was
in, I
Adelphia
think
that
we should
basically said they
encourage
weren't
it.
going to do it.
And as I say, then we take it into consideration when the contract comes up. Now, are we going to have somebody review our contract and make sure we're on firm legal grounds with some of the things?
Right, it will be that legal company out of Boston. That's what they specialize in.
Yeah. All right, so the drama continues. I just think I think it's criminal what they've been trying to pull. I don't care what they say. They're big enough to deal with this.
They did ask, and I'm going to do it, and we were going to do that anyway. I know, Senator Reynolds mentioned how broadband is coming through the state of New Hampshire. But believe it or not, it looks like we're one of the areas up in that area that's not going to get broadband either. We don't have the right fibers and stuff like that. But there's a tag on to that grant that we're going to try to
Yeah.
see if we can get broadband up in that area.
Well, the states, I don't think we're going to get help from the state. I mean, they're fighting the Fairpoint battle. That's got everybody occupied. But I just think I think from Time Warner's point of view, they're criminal. It shouldn't happen. You got a segment of the town that's been here for a long time and nobody wants to deal with it. So I think we should deal with it as best we can and as quickly as possible. And
And in all
MetroCast is
honesty,
the answer.
it really wasn't any less work than what they took them to get cable a few weeks ago down to the highway department.
Yeah. And there's poles up there. I mean, they exist.
We have electricity and telephone.
Yeah, whose poles do they ride in on? It's probably New Hampshire Electric.
The co-op and,
Yeah. So it's just a question of they've got to negotiate the fees, the lease fee on the pole.
well, they're trying to tell us that there's not enough poles in between what they require for their drops. But we had the same situation from here to the highway department.
Yeah.
Same distance between the
So
poles.
we don't believe them?
I think council will take care of all this.
Right. It's,
All right, are we going to have them back?
I've asked for them to come back. They canceled last month and they canceled this month.
Yeah. So they're doing the same thing they did for a long
A
time.
year ago. Yep.
All right. Anyone else have anything they want to inject into this discussion? No? Public comment. Frank.
As a citizen, I would like to say thank you to the Highway Department for their work on this sidewalk out here of that asphalt with the print and the painting it today. It looks very nice. It's a lot of hard work, and all the work they've done on the repairing of the other brick sidewalks, and the guys are out there plugging away. And I just thought that as a citizen, other people have expressed their satisfaction with that sidewalk and that effort. So just like to get that passed along to them.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Keefe.
Just a quick announcement that a week from tomorrow, September 22nd, is the first Campus Community Council meeting at 5 p.m. in the East Public Library meeting room downstairs.
Wait, what meeting is this?
Campus Community Council, CCC.
I go to that, Charlie.
Is that a new location or a temporary?
That's where we met all last year.
Is it? Okay.
Yep. And I appreciated the attendance.
When is this? A week from?
A week from tomorrow, September 22nd, Tuesday at 5 p.m.
Valerie's our liaison. committee attendee.
I'm not going to be, well, I might, I don't know. I got to go to Dartmouth.
Mr. Berman, Mrs. Scarborough's our rep for that meeting.
Are you planning to attend? Good. Anyone else? All right. So we do have a representative. Anything else? With that,
You do have non-public.
we have a non-public, in accordance with RSA 91-A:3, 2, personnel, A and B, 2A and C, personnel. All right.
You have to vote.
That's right, we have to vote to go in. Those in favor of going in, we got a poll?
Aye.
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 That's what you need.